So Ravens flock, Michael Phelps and Ray Lewis gave two very passionate, well-needed, perfect timing speech, perfectly timed speeches during Ravens training camp earlier today. And I wanted to talk about the two main things that they touched on, one being time and the other being preparation. So Michael Phelps went first. He discussed his career, essentially, kind of his journey. He summarized it real quick. I'm sure you all know, but for the people that don't, Michael Phelps, he's been a Ravens fan pretty much forever. He's a native to Baltimore. He's a native to Maryland. He's the greatest swimmer we've ever seen. The man is basically a fish. He's really the reason I got into watching the Olympics. Prior to him, really it was Michael Phelps and the Redeem team for the NBA in 2008 that kind of got me interested. Prior to that, I had very little interest in the Olympics, but Michael Phelps ended up talking about what set him apart or what was able to keep him going to get to the next level in these big moments when it's just him and everything's on the line. And the number one thing he said was he knew that when he went into these moments that he was the most prepared person on, well, they're in the pool, but the most prepared person in the environment. And when you think about our team, that's something that gets on the nerves of many of us is in these big moments, even in smaller moments, it constantly feels as though we're never really prepared for anything. Not saying we never get prepared, but when we face these mediocre teams like the Colts or the Raiders or any team that Gardner Minshew is the QB for, we go in there, we look unmotivated, lackluster, we get embarrassed. And then even in these big moments, like when you think about the divisional round against the Buffalo Bills, we didn't look motivated. We didn't look prepared. It became another game where we went out there lackluster. Nobody looks like they're really trying to fight outside of like four people on the entire team. And it ends up biting us in the butt. The same thing happened in the AFC Championship game where we go up against the Chiefs and nobody looks really that interested. Nobody looks motivated. Only like 3 or 4 players are actually trying to make something happen, and we come up short. I would definitely like to see us be more prepared in these big moments because I do think it is a lack of preparation as well as other things such as maybe John Harbaugh's messaging getting stale to these players, but I definitely think it's lack of preparation, and that falls squarely on the shoulders of the coaches. These guys should be 1000% prepared in these moments. Obviously there's adults, so they control what they do and what they don't do and how much they prepare, but at the same time they should be drilling it into these players' heads exactly what we need to do and the type of team we need to be. But yet we get into these big moments and we're just not that team, unfortunately, at least not yet. This year, hopefully this year is different, but over the past couple years it wasn't different. We were just that team that we cruise, we coast against everybody in moments that don't matter as much, and then when the stakes get super high, we just don't look prepared. So I did like seeing Michael Phelps emphasize that. I'm curious if Harbaugh, like if he hinted to Michael Phelps that he wanted that to sort of be like a main point. I'm not sure, but either way, that was something I felt was a major point to bring up to a team like us where we don't seem prepared in these big moments. And not just the players, even the coaches. Like the fact that we get into these big playoff moments and we, for whatever reason, panic and stop running the ball, it never makes sense. If we're truly that prepared and if we're truly a running team like they like to market us as, we should very easily in these moments stick to what works. Like when you look at the division round against the Bills or the AFC Championship game against the Chiefs over the past 2 seasons, these are moments where we had the game in a manageable place. It was never a moment where it's like, oh, we were just getting completely blown out of the water. We were well within striking distance to where running the ball should have still been on the table. But we didn't do that. And it is what it is. Hopefully next year, this coming year, the Ravens coaching staff, they are more prepared and they'll have enough confidence in their plan and preparation to not abandon the number one thing that we're supposed to be, which is a running team. And Ray Lewis, he ended up talking about time. And I also felt like this was a very important point to bring up to this team because so often we could get caught up in these moments where we overlook just how short life is. Like the old saying goes, the days are long, but the years are short. So you'll see a lot of people when we have these hiccups, they'll say silly things like, "Oh, it's just week 2, bro. It's just week 10, bro. It's just week 15, bro. It's a long season." Not realizing that if we don't nip these things in the bud as soon as possible, before we know it, it'll be January and we're in Cancun because we never got this situation under control, which is unfortunately this has happened to us the past several years, really the past decade, really. And then also another another reason why I felt the time point was so important to bring up to these players is because it's also easy to realize how quickly it's also easy to overlook how quickly a window can close. Like a lot of people are talking as if it's a guarantee that we're gonna just come back the year after and the year after and the year after, and they'll say, "Oh well, it's just, oh, you win some and you lose some and blah blah blah," and it's just like, nah, man. Like we have to, even though as fans we can't control much, we still have to in these big moments have the mentality that everything is on the line and we have to play like it. And to go back to the preparation point, in many of these big moments, it doesn't really feel like we play like it. It doesn't feel like we really play like we understand how little, how much time is actually left, and there's not really much. I understand many people feel as though, hey, as long as Lamar's on the team, we'll be fine. But guess what? You can't predict the future. I think now, mind you, Lamar's in his prime. I think Lamar could very easily play another 10 years, at least another 8 years. I think that's very possible. However, you don't know what the future could bring. Knock on wood, what if there's like some catastrophic injury, or what if a bunch of players have a falling out with the coaches and they all simultaneously request a trade? So many things can happen in the blink of an eye, and next thing you know, that team that was primed to win a Super Bowl, they fall off a cliff and we just become another irrelevant team trying to get back to glory. We have to strike while the iron is hot. We had a chance in 2019 and we blew it. We had a chance in 2023 and we blew it. We had a chance in 2024 and we blew it. We can't keep having another year of we look good, we get to these big moments and we're not prepared, where we lack motivation, nobody looks like they truly want it, and then we go out there, get embarrassed, and have to start all over again. We can't keep doing that, because again, regardless of the faith we may have in a lot of these players like Lamar, you can't predict how long their prime is going to actually last. Like there's plenty of players, there's plenty of teams that look, you look at the Indianapolis Colts. I'm sure the Indianapolis Colts fans, when they had Andrew Luck, I'm sure they thought Andrew Luck was just going to play for like 15 years. Then next thing you know, in his 6th or 7th year, he just ups and says, "Oh, I'm done." You can't predict that. I like anything can happen, unfortunately. And I don't like, it would be very sad if we had this window and we simply never got it done. That would be very sad. But hopefully this year can be the year where we finally get out of our own way and understand how much time is actually left, which is not much, because the window is closing. At least this current iteration of the Baltimore Ravens, the window for them is closing. And also hopefully they properly prepare, so in these big moments we don't unnecessarily abandon the thing that we're supposed to be the best at. But let me know, do you think that this Michael Phelps and Ray Lewis speech, that each of them gave, is actually going to motivate the team, or do you think that this is just something that goes in one ear and out of the other?